Hello YouTube, this is Chris from the Star Wars Underworld, and in this series of tutorials I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use Gimp to make this logo here look like this. And Gimp is a free image editing program that does almost anything that Photoshop can do, and to get it all you have to do is type Gimp into Google and then hit downloads here, and then I believe the installer is right here. And that'll bring you to SourceForge, and you'll be able to download Gimp right there. I already have it downloaded. Now when you open up for the first time, it might take a little bit because it needs to load a bunch of fonts. Now once you have Gimp open, the first thing you want to do is you want to get all of the images that you are going to be using when you make your logo wallpaper. So click File, Open. And the first thing we're going to do is get our space background open right here. And then the second time you do this, you don't want to click File Open. You want to click File Open as Layers so that it'll open on top of the other layer that you've already brought in. And that's how Gimp works. Everything is on different layers. So if you look on the right side here, you should be able to see all of the layers listed, and you can select one layer with this little button right here, and you can move it around and do lots of fun stuff right there. So the first thing that I want to do is just hit Control-Shift-E so I can see a little bit better. And it's very important to save your projects right away in case Gimp crashes or your computer crashes. And when you are saving a Gimp file that you're working with on Gimp, make sure you save it as a .xcf. That's .xcf, and that's the special file extension for Gimp images that keeps all of these layers intact and doesn't merge them together, so you can go back and change things later. Now, the first thing that I want to do is I want to make these edges on the top and the bottom go away, because right now this is not a full screen image. It's like a well, actually, it's not a widescreen image, it's a full screen image. So to do that, all you need to do is go to Image and Canvas Size. And I want to change it from 1600 by 1200 to 1600 by 900. And I want to unselect this right here, so that they don't both change at the same time to keep the proportions. And then you can just drag this kind of into the center, and like that. That's probably close to centered. And just to make sure that everything's completely centered, go to the logo layer and right click it, and then click Layer to Image Size. Alright, so it's already looking pretty good. So the next thing we want to do is we want to create a border around this black logo. So to do that, what you do is you right click it over here in the layer menu, and you hit Alpha to Selection, and this selects everything in here. And then this is a great feature that Gimp has that sets it above pretty much any other image editing program except for Photoshop. You can grow a selection. So you hit Select, Grow, and then I'm probably going to want this to be, I'm going to try 25 and see what that looks like. And then that's how big the border is going to be, like that. Now to fill this in, all that you need to do, and you can fill this in on this layer, but it's going to erase what you had before. So you want to create a new layer and then fill it in. So to do that, all you have to do is click Layer, New Layer, and you want it to be transparent. So now there's a new layer that's been created, and then you can fill it in. Make sure you've highlighted the new layer. Go over to your gradient tool and just flick it like this, and you can play around with that until you have it just right. So now that's filled in, but there's a couple of things, there's a couple of holes in there that I just want to quickly fix. So if you hit Control-Shift-A, it makes the selection go away. That rhymes. And then you can use the paint tool to just quickly paint in this area. Now I have it on black right now. To shift it to white, all you have to do is hit this little thing right here and it changes the colors. So let's just quickly fill that in. Okay, great. So now go to the layer and we're going to drag it like this underneath the other layer. And there we go. It's already looking a little bit better. So one thing I want to do is I want to change the coloring quickly of these layers because black and white is huge contrast. We want grays, and the reason we want them to be grays is that we can easily change gray to any other color of the rainbow quickly. Whereas black and white, it's extreme. So even reddish black, bluish black, they're all black. So to change the coloring, we just select the layer, go up to colors, and colorize. And then we're going to just make it lighter like this. And for now, we're going to we want it to be gray. Actually, why not right now just make this kind of a goldish color just right off the bat, since that's what we're going to end up doing. And you just want to play around with this until you've got the coloring that you want. I'm not going to spend too much time with this. And click OK. And then we want to select the other layer. And again, hit colorize. And now we want it to be a little bit darker than white. And then change the hue to kind of metallic color, yellow. And I don't know if we want the border to be darker or lighter than the other. I'm gonna go with maybe a darker coloring this time. You can have darker or lighter, but I'm gonna go darker, like that. So that's already looking pretty good, but we can make this look even better. And this is when things get really fun. Select layer. It doesn't matter if you do background or foreground first. I'm going to do the background first. And then right click it, select alpha to selection to select the contents of that layer. And then go to filters, decor, add bevel. And sometimes it opens up and you have to unminimize the window. And uncheck work on copy. And let's try 10 and see what that looks like. And click OK. And what this is going to do is this is going to give it a little bit of edging. It's hard to see in this video, the edging, but it is there. And we're going to do the same thing with the inside. Right click it. And we're going to click alpha to selection, filters, decor, add bevel. We have it set to 10 and click OK. So now, hitting Control Shift A, you can see that it looks a little bit more 3D-ish and professional looking, but we still want to add a gradient to finish the effects off. So to add a gradient, what you need to do is hit the largest layer, alpha to selection. Then create a new layer that's transparent and put that on top and make sure that's selected. Then you want to hit the ellipse tool, select ellipse, and make sure right here in the mode section it's set to this one, which is intersect. It's the fourth one from the left or first one from the right. And then what you do is you just drag it over like this. And you can be really fine with this. I'm just going to do it really quickly so it's not going to look perfect. And what that's going to do is it's going to intersect the circle with what you already had selected. Then you go to the gradient tool and you want to select FG to transparent. And then I'm just going to do this quickly to see what it looks like. That's a little bit too strong. So I'm going to hit Control Z and undo it. Try it again. Still a little bit too strong. If you think it's too strong, there's a few things that you can do. One, you can change the color to something that matches the image a little bit more. So I'm going to change it from white to a bright yellow, a yellowish gold. That looks a little bit better. And then another thing that you can do is you can drop the opacity down, like this. And that looks fine. I'm going to see what that ends up looking like. That looks fine. You can tweak it to make it look a little bit better if you want. The final thing that we are going to need to do is, you notice that it looks kind of harsh against the background, and we want to make it stand out from the background. And easily, you can do that by just hitting the largest layer, which is back here, and then going to Tools. Actually, it's Filters, Light and Shadow, Drop Shadow, and click OK. And then that just adds a little bit of a drop shadow behind that. And if you think that's too harsh, you can just go up to opacity right here and change it. So that pretty much does it. Finally, the last thing that you want to do so you can actually go use the image is save as, and save it as a PNG file, which is lossless, so it's not going to compress it. And click export and save. And it might take a little bit to save it. And then I'm going to see if I can find this right here. There we go. So I hope you learned something from this tutorial. And if there's anything else you'd be interested in me doing a tutorial, just leave a comment. Make sure that you comment, and you like, and you subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching. May the force be with you.